Good evening from Washington, D.C., and thank you to those of you joining us from around the world for news from a Catholic perspective. I'm Lauren Ashburn. Callista Gingrich will soon be sworn in as the U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See. This comes after a lengthy Senate confirmation. Capitol Hill correspondent Jason Calvi tells us what's next for her and her husband, former Speaker Newt Gingrich. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Lauren. The former Speaker tells News Nightly his wife will likely move to Rome in early November. He says she wants to be fully briefed by embassy staff before doing any interviews. President Trump nominated her way back in May, and if you can believe it, 5 months later, she finally wins approval.
On this nomination, the yeas are 70, the nays are 23. The nomination is confirmed.
With that, the Senate confirms Callista Gingrich as U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See.
She'll articulate the issues. I think she'll be a good listener. I think she'll be a good representative for Americans as they're visiting the Vatican.
Oklahoma Republican James Lankford voted yes, as did West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin.
I give the benefit of the doubt to the administration.
Did you find her to be qualified?
Yes. Good Catholic.
But 23 Democrats voted against her. And some Catholics complain, criticizing her earlier affair with Speaker Newt Gingrich. Now married, they work together, even producing a documentary on Pope John Paul II.
Throughout the 2,000-year history of the papacy, only 2 popes served longer than John Paul II.
Callista Gingrich also sings in the choir at America's largest Catholic church, D.C.'s National Shrine. Soon, she'll be a main link between President Trump and Pope Francis.
I used to say I deal in moral diplomacy.
Former Vatican Ambassador Jim Nicholson tells me so much of Gingrich's work will be behind the scenes. He briefed Pope John Paul II in the aftermath of 9/11.
And he looked at me and he said, Ambassador Nicholson, we have to stop these people who are killing in the name of God.
Ambassador Nicholson expects Gingrich to work with the Vatican on critical issues like human trafficking, hunger relief, and religious freedom.
She will be right in the middle of many of those important discussions, believe me.
An around-the-clock job in the Eternal City.
My wife would say that you were either hosting or being hosted 7 nights a week.
And Newt Gingrich tells News Nightly he won't be speaking about his wife's job. That was one of the lessons he learned at spouse training. He says his wife is the central figure, so Callista doesn't want any confusion. Lauren?
How can Ambassador Gingrich further the partnership between the U.S. and the Vatican?
Well, Nicholson mentioned it really is great working with the Vatican. He said, think about it, they're across the world, missionaries, priests, nuns, pretty much everywhere. They can use U.S. aid through the church to really get it to people in need.
Correspondent Jason Calvi on Capitol Hill. Thank you, Jason.